Hey there, Andrew Wasson from CreativeGuitarStudio.com. Thanks a lot for joining me here again on the Andrew Wasson channel, where I do my weekly follow-up videos, and I usually pick a subject, go through a topic that's maybe a little bit different than anything I would cover on my main YouTube channel, which is, by the way, Creative Guitar Studio. You can go and check out all my lessons over there. By the way, I did also have some new lessons come up on the main channel over there. It's 3 lessons were posted in the last week. One was called Do This Every Day for 2 minutes and Master Every Dyad. It's a really good lesson on being able to learn your 2-note chords along the guitar. I give you a lot of tips both on YouTube and then on the second video that I posted on Patreon. Another video that's really good is the 2 things you have to do to play perfect rhythm guitar, or actually it's acoustic guitar, but it's 2 things you need to do with your strum hand or your pluck hand, and it is oriented more toward your plucking hand, like more of a classical guitar fingerstyle technique. It's a really good video, and I covered ideas on there that are usually neglected, so check that one out for sure. And then the other one is called Play This Riff for 4 Days, and it's a 4-string idea that I set up on the neck, and it's a really nice idea to do with how riffs are created and how you can build more cohesive riffs at home. So check out those videos. I release new videos every week on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. So those are all new over on the Creative Guitar Studio YouTube channel. But let's get into the topics that I want to cover here on this particular video. So we're talking about how if you're just learning guitar on YouTube, how that's probably a terrible idea. And for some people, maybe it's not. For a lot of people, though, there's going to be things that don't work right with it. And I want to go over that stuff today. So first of all, let's make a clarification here. Can you learn guitar off of YouTube? I think some people can, but it's going to be a percentage. I would say maybe about 70% of people may have troubles. About 30% of people may actually have success. And really what happens is if you're trying to learn guitar on YouTube, mainly what's going to happen is, in my experience, because I've been teaching YouTube guitar lessons since 2008, so I have some expertise in this area. But normally in the phone calls that I get to my office at Creative Guitar, emails I get sent in and I reply to, it's people get stuck. They just simply get stuck not knowing what's next or where to go next. There's no step-by-step plan when you're learning on YouTube. So it's kind of like they just don't know what to do next. Learning guitar is pretty, there's a lot of stuff to do with learning a musical instrument, and you kind of need a chapter-by-chapter way. When I was younger, I started taking lessons when I was about 7. I went through probably 4 different guitar teachers, maybe even 5. It's hard to recall now. My last guitar teacher that I had was a jazz player, and he just flat out said, you got some skills for this. I think you should go and look for a university or college. He had gone to Musicians Institute in Hollywood, California, and I thought, well, if it was good enough for him, I should go probably try that school out as well. Plus, I had family in California, which made it really easy to do. For some people, going across to California might be tough unless you live there. But I mean, it was a big move, and I did it a long time ago. I did that in 1991, so that's kind of a few years back. It was really cheap to do that then. There was, costs were so low with stuff back then. But it was just, I needed that chapter by chapter, step by step approach, lots of exposure. I needed a student support system of all the other players. There were like 275 guitar players in the school at that point. You need it for 2 reasons. You need teachers and you need students around you to support you for 2 reasons. Because you need to understand whether you're doing something right or wrong. That's really what the bottom line of it is. And you can't get that from a YouTube video. You can't even really get it that great from video guitar lessons. But if you're studying a course, a real chapter by chapter, step by step course, the inevitable happens, where you realize to get yourself out of stuck situations, there's things you're going to need to understand and to have skills at doing. And in a lot of cases, if you don't have that, it just leads to frustration. So, and you can get thoroughly frustrated. I mean, I've met people where they're so frustrated that they just give up. They just quit playing. Hopefully they come back to it. Maybe in 2 years they just try again, and then finally, you know, it clicks for whatever reasons are there. So I want to give you guys 6 tips that I think are really valuable. So number 1 is you need ambition there. So you need usually some kind of friends network to be able to keep the ambition going. So maybe there's somebody around you that plays guitar. Maybe there's a community chat group somewhere, maybe on Reddit or, you know, one of the other guitar discussion forums that you can join. The only problem is a lot of times those discussion forums are also going to give you some bad information. So, you know, it's better to have a student support network where you can contact professionals. I mean, people who are premium members over on my website, they can actually email into student support if they have actual questions about stuff. Everybody that I have on my support email team is a guitar player that's gone through all of my curriculum, and I know exactly what they're about, so they're going to offer you proper support. But, you know, without that, you could run into maybe doing things wrong. Now, is it bad if you're doing something wrong? Generally, not really. I'd say almost 90% of the time, it's probably not going to cause you too much problem. However, if you're doing something wrong for a long time, you can develop problems physically with your body. So that means if you're holding your wrist wrong for a long time, you can develop pain, muscle tension issues, aspects of your hand can be, you know, can have problems with pain. Same thing with this shoulder. If you're, you know, playing guitar like most people play with the right hand strumming and the left hand on the fretboard. This shoulder, for years, if you have it in the wrong way, sort of real cockeyed or whatever you call it, you develop shoulder problems, and they can be severe. Even for me, playing guitar correctly for, you know, all the years that I've played, I have a lot of times some stiffness and pain. I need to go through physio, do different things. So you cannot figure this stuff out on your own. And if you do it wrong, you can run into problems, you know, physically that will hurt and, you know, cause you a lot of serious issues. And that's going to cause you issues away from the guitar too. So let's get to the next point of having some kind of course or curriculum. You could try going to the library and getting different books that are a guitar curriculum. You could try taking out video lessons, you know, in different ways. But having some kind of concrete course that goes step by step, that's going to save you hours and hours of frustration. Number 3 would be music theory. I don't care what people say. There's all kinds of people out there on the internet saying you don't need music theory. Jimi Hendrix didn't have it. You know, that's BS, man. When you know music theory, you've got the building blocks to how everything works. So you may not use it to write a song, but you know exactly what the song is about musically. You know what key it's in and how the chords operate, what chords are congruent to the key, which chords have left the key, and you understand the principles behind how, because music theory is finite. It's not like we haven't discovered some note yet and it's like a mystery in the universe. We know everything about it. You could probably learn all of it in a level of almost mastery in about 2 years. Same thing with music reading. Being able to, so many people don't know how to read music on guitar, but what they don't understand is when you learn to read music on guitar, you know every note stone cold everywhere. And I mean, there's no other way to get every note 100% learned on guitar unless you learn how to read music on the instrument. You can do different things and all that, but if you want to know it stone cold, learn to read music, and you will get your rhythmic capabilities to a whole other level of skill. You'll understand rhythmic duration for every pocket that there is, and your rhythm playing will go through the roof. So keep that in mind. You know, you could even just use library books in the beginning if you want to start off getting your music theory education. Now, the next point coincides with that last one on music theory, because it's all about taking the theory and learning what it sounds like in practice. Like everything that's out there musically relates to, in some way, to sound. So if you can make the connection, and over the years you just naturally do, then you know how it functions properly. The second last one here, number 5, it's all about chords and understand. See, chords are everything. Harmony is like everything. If you understand that aspect, you can really kind of branch out, and like you'll notice if you understand your chords, your soloing gets better, your ability to create melody gets better. Like think of every single guitar player who's amazing at playing solos. Like you and I probably don't even need to mention them because you know who they are. Let's just take one guy, Eddie Van Halen. Let's take two, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Okay, we know that those guys were unreal rhythm guitar players. We also know they were like the top of the world class in lead guitar players. You know, you see how they connect, you know, so you have to know them. But learn the chords, learn the harmony, understand rhythm guitar, be able to strum those chords, you know, that's key. Okay, anyway, the sixth point, the last point, and then I'll wrap things up. You have to learn to love, you know, the progress that's happening. Because sometimes it drives you crazy and you feel like you're getting nowhere. And we've all had that experience where we're trying to learn something, you know, on guitar and it's like pulling a train uphill. It's just not working for us. But you got to learn to love that because you know that that's when you are learning the most. So if you feel like you've got the world by the tail, you're probably not learning much or you're not learning anything, you know. You learn by when you feel like it's just you're not getting somewhere, and then you push yourself more and you learn to connect things in a better, deeper way. So just keep that in mind. Learn to love the pulling of the train uphill aspect, because that will mean that you're getting somewhere and you're really learning information. So anyway, guys, that is the spiel I wanted to go through here in this particular episode. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap things up. I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you're not subscribed to the Andrew Wasson channel here on YouTube, you could do that. And definitely you want to be subscribed to my Creative Guitar Studio YouTube channel, because all the videos that I put up for my lessons that coincide between there and Patreon, which is patreon.com/Creative Guitar Studio. All that stuff is interlinked to build and help you get together the best possible learning curve that you could possibly have as a guitar player. So anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching. Keep jamming out, keep practicing, and keep having fun playing guitar. I will catch up with you next time. Bye for now. With a free membership, you'll be able to access all the free lesson material, including a collection of 6 years of YouTube archives, where there are hundreds of videos, PDF handouts, and MP3 jam tracks. Plus, with a free membership, you'll gain access to the Quick Licks program, a 30-lesson course covering guitar licks in all playing styles across all types of scales and arpeggios. When you sign up for a paid membership, you'll get access to my core curriculum, including my beginner, intermediate, and advanced guitar programs. Plus, there's also my elective courses on the site, like acoustic guitar, guitar technique, guitar soloing, ear training, music reading, and many others. Go check it out. You're going to love it. The website is creativeguitarstudio.com.